Listen. Before you decide who you want to become, ask yourself one question. How many times have you handed your destiny to people who weren't even qualified to hold your name? Because that, right there, is where most people lose the life they were meant to live. Some stories are not meant for the world to hold. Some truths are meant to develop in silence, protected from the hands that would twist them, dilute them, or weaponize them. When you share the most fragile parts of yourself with people who don't have the emotional capacity, wisdom, or integrity to handle them, you give them the power to shape how you see your own journey. And the painful truth is this: most people are not prepared for the weight of what you've survived. They may pretend to care, they may nod along, but deep down, many are more invested in the drama of your downfall than the glory of your rise. Your story deserves better than that. It deserves respect, reverence, and a space where it can grow without judgment. Too many people spill their dreams and wounds hoping to be understood, hoping someone will finally say, "I get you." But understanding is rare, genuine empathy is rare, and you cannot build your strength based on rare approval. When you overshare with the wrong people, you expose your unhealed areas to critics who don't even know what it feels like to fight for something more. They will poke at your vulnerabilities, pull at your insecurities, and leave you doubting whether you're even capable of rising. They weren't trying to understand you. They were collecting ammunition. The more they know, the more control they think they have. And let's be honest, some people don't want you healed. They don't want you confident. They don't want you walking in your power, because the minute you rise, they lose the one thing they had over you, the comfort of seeing you stuck. For them, your pain was entertainment. Your struggle was their conversation topic. Your setbacks gave them something to feel superior about. That's why you must be selective. Your story is sacred, and sacred things are not given away casually. They are protected like treasure. There is a deep strength in silence, not because you're hiding, but because you're preserving. You're giving your dreams the time they need to form without premature voices tearing them apart. Think about seeds. They grow best underground, in the dark, where nothing and no one is watching. Your story is the same. When you allow it to develop in privacy, you give it room to become powerful before the world ever sees it. You're not keeping people out, you're keeping your growth safe. People who are meant to be part of your journey will prove themselves through their consistency, not their curiosity. They won't ask for the deepest parts of you right away. They won't pry, push, or demand access. They will honor your boundaries. They will earn your trust. And slowly, you will realize they are the ones who deserve to hear the chapters you've kept locked away. Not because they deserve your pain, but because they respect your process. So yes, protect your story. Guard it fiercely. Let people earn their place before you hand them the pieces of you that took years to rebuild. Not everyone has earned the right to hear how you became who you are. And the ones who haven't? They can watch the transformation from a distance. Your mood is unpredictable. It rises, it crashes. It shifts with the weather, with a conversation, with one unexpected thought. And if you allow your life to follow those emotional swings, you will live in a constant state of inconsistency. Plans are built on intention, structure, and clarity. Moods are built on impulses, hormones, and whatever chaos the day introduces. When you choose your mood over your plan, you choose the temporary over the transformational. You choose comfort over progress. You choose what feels good in the moment instead of what will change your life in the long run. And that's why so many people get stuck. They let how they feel decide what they do. There will be mornings when ambition doesn't wake up with you. Days when the pressure feels heavier than the dream. Moments when you question whether the plan you built still makes sense because your emotions are louder than your logic. But this is exactly where discipline steps in. Discipline is the anchor that holds you steady when your mood tries to drag you off course. It's the voice that says, "I don't feel like it, but I promised myself I would." That single sentence has saved more dreams than motivation ever has. Motivation fades fast. Discipline stays. When you stick to your plan, even when your mood is fighting against you, You build something inside yourself that no one can take away, self-respect. You begin to trust your own word. You start to believe in your own follow-through. And that changes everything. Because once you trust yourself, you stop needing approval to move forward. You stop waiting for the right moment. You stop negotiating with laziness, fear, and doubt. You become the kind of person who acts, regardless of how you feel. That identity alone can shift the trajectory of your entire life. And the truth is, your mood will lie to you. It will tell you you're tired when you're just unmotivated. It will convince you to rest when what you really need is momentum. It will create stories in your head about why you should slow down, why you should wait, why today just isn't the day. But your plan? Your plan is grounded in who you want to become, not who you are in this moment. Your plan was created from clarity, not emotion. It reflects your highest self, not your most fragile one. That's why it's non-negotiable. The people who achieve extraordinary lives aren't the ones who feel good every day. They're the ones who move anyway. They work through the doubt, through the exhaustion, through the boredom. They don't let their feelings dictate their future. They honor the plan even when the mood completely disagrees. That's how consistency is built, through action, not emotion. And consistency is the quiet force that turns ordinary people into unstoppable ones. Sticking to your plan doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. It means refusing to let them rule you. It means recognizing that feelings are temporary, but your purpose is permanent. It means understanding that moods come and go, but your commitment cannot. When you choose your plan over your mood, you choose growth over excuses. You choose progress over stagnation. You choose the life you're building instead of the comfort you're tempted by. And that single choice, repeated day after day, becomes the difference between a life you dream about and a life you actually live. Motivation is loud and exciting. It hits you like a surge of electricity, convincing you that anything is possible, but that spark fades fast. It shows up when life feels easy, when the path looks smooth, when the dream shines brighter than the work required to reach it. The problem is motivation doesn't stay. It doesn't wake you up at 5 in the morning. It doesn't show up on the days you feel heavy, tired, or discouraged. It doesn't sit beside you when doubt starts whispering in your ear. That's why people who rely on motivation always find themselves starting over. They burn hot, then disappear. They get inspired, then fall off. They talk big, then quit quietly when the feeling fades. Discipline is the opposite. Discipline is not loud. It doesn't come with fireworks or adrenaline. It speaks in a whisper, a simple reminder, do it anyway. Discipline shows up when motivation goes missing. It's the part of you that moves even when you don't feel like moving. It doesn't care about mood swings or bad days. It doesn't need hype or emotion. Discipline is commitment in motion, steady, consistent, reliable. And that's why it builds results. Because the truth is, the people who win in life win because they knew how to act without waiting to feel excited. Most people fail because they wait for a feeling. They wait to feel ready before they start a project. They wait to feel confident before they take a risk. They wait to feel motivated before they take the next step. But feelings are unstable. They shift with pressure, with fear, with inconvenience. If you wait for your feelings to line up with your goals, you'll wait forever. Successful people learned early that readiness is a myth. Confidence is a consequence, not a prerequisite. The more you show up, the more prepared you become. The more you practice, the more belief you build. The more consistent you are, the more unstoppable you feel. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about direction. You will mess up. You will fall off. You will have days where you break your routine or lose momentum. But discipline doesn't expect flawlessness. It expects return. It expects you to get back in alignment as soon as you realize you've drifted. Discipline isn't about never slipping. It's about never staying down. And that mindset separates achievers from dreamers. Dreamers imagine the life they want. Achievers show up for it, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable, even when the mood is gone. And here's the powerful truth. Discipline eventually creates motivation. The more consistent you are, the more results you see. The more results you see, the more motivated you feel. Motivation should be the reward, not the fuel. You earn it by staying committed long enough to experience progress. That's when motivation becomes meaningful, when it follows discipline, not replaces it. Discipline is the real foundation of every transformation. It builds character, strength, resilience, and identity. It teaches you that you don't have to be ruled by mood, emotion, or doubt. You learn that you can trust yourself. You learn that you can rely on your own word. And when you reach that level of self-respect, nothing and no one can stop you, because you've proven to yourself that you will show up regardless of how you feel. Silence is misunderstood in a world addicted to noise. People assume that if you're quiet, you're unsure, you're hiding, or you're weak. But silence is not the absence of power. It is the concentration of it. When you choose to keep your goals, your plans, and your next moves to yourself, you're not shrinking. You're protecting the fire that's still forming. You're giving your ideas a private place to grow without interruption. There is a strength in being selective with what you share, because not everyone can respect, handle, or understand the magnitude of what you're building. Silence becomes a shield, guarding your vision from those who would rather dissect it than support it. Every time you announce your goals prematurely, you open the door for outside opinions to dilute the confidence you need to carry them out. People love to critique what they don't have the courage to pursue themselves. The moment you share your dreams, someone will try to limit them, question them, or make you doubt them. Not because they're right, but because your ambition exposes their lack of it. And if you're not careful, their hesitation becomes your hesitation. Their fear becomes your fear. Their doubt sinks its roots into your progress. Silence protects you from that contamination. It gives you a chance to move without interference, without comparison, without the pressure of living up to expectations that were never yours to hold. Silence also creates mystery, and mystery is powerful. When people don't know what you're doing, they can't predict your next step. They can't sabotage what they can't see. They can't attack what they can't identify. They can't stop what they don't know is coming. When you keep your focus internal, you maintain control. You become unpredictable in the best way. People see the results, but they never see the strategy. They see the elevation, but never the preparation. That's how you build momentum quietly, steadily, without the noise of other people's opinions slowing you down. There is a discipline in keeping things to yourself. It requires maturity to resist the urge to announce progress or seek validation. It requires patience to let your work speak before your words do. Many people crumble because they tell everyone what they're going to do instead of proving who they are through consistent action. Talking gives a temporary high, but doing builds a permanent foundation. Silence forces you to focus not on the applause, but on the execution. It keeps you grounded in the work, not the performance of the work. And silence reveals who is truly paying attention. When you stop broadcasting your every move, the wrong people drift away. The ones who only stuck around for entertainment lose interest. The ones who fed on your vulnerability lose access. But the right people, the ones who believe in you, respect you, and value your presence, stay without needing the details. They don't require updates to validate your progress. They don't need explanations to stand beside you. They trust that your growth is happening, even if they don't see every step of it. Those are the people worthy of your truth. Silence is not about isolation. It is about intention. It is choosing to invest your energy where it builds you instead of broadcasting it where it drains you. When you learn to move quietly, you take back control of your narrative. You protect your peace, your creativity, and your direction. And most importantly, you give your future the space it needs to unfold without interference. Some conversations shrink your vision, and you don't realize it until the dream you once carried with fire starts feeling small in your own hands. You can't keep discussing big goals with people who are committed to staying exactly where they are. Every time you bring your ideas to someone who can't see beyond their own limitations, they respond with doubt, negativity, or fear. They tell you to be realistic, not because they want what's best for you, but because your ambition threatens the comfort of their stagnation. You're trying to elevate while they're trying to stay grounded, and eventually those conversations start pulling you down instead of lifting you up. That's why protecting your dialogue is just as important as protecting your dreams. Some of the most damaging conversations are disguised as concern. They sound supportive on the surface, but underneath, they are filled with insecurity. The person giving you advice doesn't believe in themselves, so they can't believe in you. They don't take risks, so they can't understand why you would. They've accepted a limited life, so they question why you're pushing for a limitless one. And if you're not careful, you start absorbing that mindset. You start lowering your expectations, shrinking your goals, and doubting your ability because the people you're talking to have never seen anything bigger than what they've settled for. Those conversations don't just waste your time. They sabotage your growth. There is power in being intentional about who you share your vision with. When you talk to people who think small, your dreams start sounding unrealistic. But when you talk to people who think big, your dreams start sounding possible. The difference isn't the dream, it's the room you're saying it in. Conversations either water your ambition or drain it. They either expand your perspective or suffocate it. When you surround yourself with people who believe in more, you start believing in more. When you surround yourself with people who push themselves, you start pushing yourself. Conversations influence identity, and identity determines action. Sometimes the reason you feel stuck is not because you lack talent, effort, or opportunity. It's because you've been trying to justify your goals to the wrong audience. You spend your energy explaining instead of executing. You try to convince people who have no interest in understanding your vision. You keep returning to conversations that drain your motivation, confuse your clarity, and weaken your drive. Growth requires you to step away from those voices, not with anger, but with intention. You don't owe your dreams an audience, you owe them protection. And when you finally remove yourself from draining conversations, something powerful happens. Your mind gets quiet enough for your own voice to get louder. Your ideas start flowing again. Your confidence begins rebuilding. You see possibilities that you couldn't see before because someone else's fear was clouding your view. Healthy conversations give you energy, direction, and insight. They don't dim your light, they sharpen it. They challenge you without belittling you. They encourage you without trying to control you. These are the conversations that help you evolve. Your future depends on your dialogue. The rooms you sit in, the people you exchange energy with, the voices you allow into your mind. These shape your decisions more than you realize. If you want a future full of growth, you need conversations that stretch your thinking, not shrink it. You need people who push you to rise, not settle. You need voices that recognize your potential, not question it. Every dream deserves the right environment to grow, and that begins with choosing your conversations with the same care you choose your goals. Growth demands evolution, and evolution demands that you release the version of yourself that was built for survival, not success. Too many people cling to identities that no longer serve who they're trying to become. They hold on to old habits, old labels, old stories, because they're familiar, not because they're productive. But you cannot step into a new life while dragging the weight of your old one. Change requires shedding. It requires honesty. It requires the courage to admit that who you have been up to this point is not enough to carry you where you want to go next. That truth is uncomfortable, but it is also liberating. The moment you acknowledge it, you reclaim your power to transform. Becoming a different version of yourself doesn't happen when it's convenient. It happens when it's necessary. Growth shows up in the messy, uncomfortable moments, the moments where you're forced to choose between what feels safe and what feels right. That choice is everything. The old version of you seeks comfort, approval, and predictability. The new version of you seeks purpose, discipline, and growth. One will keep you stagnating in the same patterns. The other will elevate you into the life you've been envisioning. Becoming your next self means making decisions that align with your future, even when your past begs you to stay the same. And this shift doesn't come with an applause. There is no crowd waiting to cheer you on. In fact, many people around you might resist your growth. They're familiar with the older version of you, the one who settled, the one who hesitated, the one who doubted. When you begin changing, it doesn't just challenge your identity, it challenges theirs. Your evolution exposes the parts of themselves they've been avoiding.